Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Andrew Stotts and I'm the Emperor of Stomaria. Today I want to give a progress report for Southwood, a Stomarian province. So this is the first progress report of 2024, and even though this has taken place in mid-January, I'm not likely to be here towards the end of January, so next time I'm going to be here sort of mid-February. So I wanted to give a quick update for this month now, since I'm here and I have been taking part in some works. King Raoul is also here. He's just popped down to the shops quickly, so I thought I was going to take the opportunity just to go through what we've been doing and what the plans are for the coming months and even years ahead. So with that in mind, let's get started. As always, we have the memorial garden here. Now, so one of the things that we're going to be doing is taking out this fencing here and putting in some nicer, newer fencing for the memorial garden. We're also going to be shrinking the size of it slightly. We're going to be taking it back to this tree here just to extend the driveway a little bit. As you can see, there is a lot of rubbish that's being collected, ready for removal. One of the things we've been doing over the last month or two is just gathering up as much rubbish as possible just to get rid of it. We did do this before the Imperial Summit last year, but there was still quite a lot to go through, and so we are still going through the motions of getting that done. So as I say, we're going to be shrinking the size of the memorial garden slightly. We're going to be taking it back to this tree, potentially up towards this tree. One of my jobs is going to be to take this stake out and pull a fence in across from this stake here to the stake here. This tree, it may be coming out, it may be in the way, but that's a decision for later on. But we're going to be just cutting off the corner there, potentially removing these stumps down here. And then we're going to be adding more gravel and sand to the pathway as well. And we're potentially going to be expanding that a little bit further, just so it goes down either side of this fork in the road. So the idea for this fencing, actually, while I'm thinking about it, one of the jobs today I have is going to be to secure the fencing a little bit better. It's held on with some small nails, nothing too substantial. But I'm going to be using some tying wire just to tie it a bit tighter to the post, because we're going to be planting at some point some blackberries just on the base of each of these posts, just so they can climb up, and that's going to add well, another resource to the little farming district that we have. But it's also going to be something that's going to be more aesthetically pleasing and hopefully deter the cats from jumping over the fence. Because hopefully it'll start to crawl across, and again it'll just deter the cats from jumping over. Because one of the problems that we've had over the last 6 months or so since the fence went up is the cats jump over and they kind of catch the fence, and they tend to damage the fence, ripping it off slightly. So you can see there it's just been pulled down because of some downward pressure from a cat that didn't quite make it. So I wanted to deter them from jumping over if at all possible. Yes, that includes you. And one of the things that I have been doing this morning, if I take you down here, for those that have been keeping up with what we've been doing, this is the leaf pile that I have collected. However, I wasn't happy with the pile system that we had. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be distributing it into these compost bins, which arrived this morning. Now, for those, again, who have been keeping up to date with what we've been doing, you'll notice that all of the old fencing has now been taken down. That's all of this gubbins here. Again, all needs to be taken down. That big pile over there. And new fencing has been established. Again, it's not perfect. It's not, you know, the best of the best, because first of all, I did it. So it's never going to be perfect, unfortunately. But also it is obviously just a woodland fence just to keep the children and the dogs and all the rest of it from running out. So I've put the fencing up to that point. We are probably going to be taking it down further, but this old sort of children's play area here, this is going to be decommissioned at some point soon, and then the fencing will go down all the way to the boundary, all the way down there. So at the moment, that's as far as I've gotten with the fence. What I'm going to be doing in the immediate term is I'm going to be putting these leaves inside all of these compost bins, and then I'm going to be leveling out this land here. Not quite sure what we're going to do with this space just yet, but it is, you know, an extra area which we can utilise, which is good. Because for those that do remember, there was a large chicken pen here that extended from back here all the way up this way. I can't even remember now. I think it was all the way up to this point, really. So it was an enormous chicken pen. Well, I say chicken pen, it had lots of poultry in it, ranging from quail and turkeys, ducks and all the rest at one point. So I am just going through the motions of clearing this out, tidying it up, leveling the ground, getting rid of the leaves, putting those in there, getting them composted. In terms of the rhubarb that was planted in November, I am a little bit wary of it, to be honest, because some of the rhubarb, this one's not actually too bad. I'm trying to think of a good example. This one. Some of the rhubarb, to me, it looks like it's almost rotting. Now, I have looked this up, and apparently when you harvest the rhubarb, you have to break off the leaves and all the rest of it to stop the rot getting to the actual root. Now, obviously, when I planted these, they didn't have any leaves to start with, but they still look, I don't know, they just look a bit suspect, and so I'm just a bit wary of those. So if it is the case that they have rotted and they have died or whatever else, then I will pull them out in sort of March, April time, which is typically the time, from what I remember in my own experience, that they actually started to show some growth. So if some start to grow and others don't, I'll pull those out and I'll replace them as quickly as possible. Hopefully by then I'll have these stumps out as well, because these stumps are really the bane of my life. As you can see, it's prime and ready for another 4 beds to go in there. In fact, they're already numbered accordingly. If you look, it goes, there we are, number 18, and then it's supposed to be 19, 20, and it starts up there, 21, comes down here, 25, and then it's going to be 26 and 27. And then hopefully, if I've got this right, 28. And so that's just how it goes in rows like that. So my OCD does not tolerate these being in here. So these will be removed in the next few months, I hope. Now, the other works that have been taking place, just a minor job that has taken place just a second ago. We have cut out, or more specifically, King Raoul of Wayward. He took out this corner here and has moved the laurel over here. So we're going to create a little a bank here. Going to be doing some planting here, just to I don't know, segregate, I suppose, in some way the land a little bit. But we do have a little pathway that's been established here. Got the fire that's dying down. Just had a mountain of wood to burn through, so that's all been dealt with now. The trying to think now. The old duck pen, no, not duck pen, chicken pen, that's been taken down. Some of that's been burnt. Again, all of that needs to go through. Needs to get rid. But yes, that's the game plan at the moment. Longer term, and some of the more major jobs. A lot of these pine trees, either dead or dying, or leaning at the most atrocious angles. You can't really tell with this one, so I'm going to show you just what much of a lean there is on this particular tree. So this particular tree is obviously not especially safe, as you can see. The only thing holding up is the other tree. And so a lot of these pine trees are to be taken down. We're just going to be working on raising up the funds to do that. It might be £2,000 or £3,000, maybe more, to take down maybe half a dozen of these trees. But as I say, they're either dead, dying, or dangerous. So they really do need to go. And that's going to provide us with a lot more lumber, which we can log or utilize in some way, which is great. And it's also going to open up the land a little bit more, get a bit more sunshine in there, without, impacting the woodland too much, in the sense that, as I say, these trees are either dead or dying, so they're not adding any real value to the woodland territory at the moment. So if we can get rid of them in order to allow other plants, vegetables, herbs, fruits, trees, vegetation, whatever else, let that get some of that sunlight, and then we will see what else we can get growing in here. So that is the game plan on that front. Not sure there's much else to report on at this time. Oh yes, we had an incident. So we had some rather stormy weather a few days ago, and one of the branches from one of these dead trees fell and unfortunately crushed the trellis, which the berries were grown over. Raoul was particularly upset about that. I think it's quite unfortunate. It was his pride and joy, but it's just all the more reason to take down some of these trees, because they are literally just dying, they're falling apart, and they could potentially cause some real damage further down the line. So before we build up too much, we want to make sure we get that done. I can't remember if this new entranceway has been highlighted yet, so let me just get the other side of this. Got the flags there flying in the breeze. Now this is an entranceway that King Raoul has put together. These are all hagstones, so I can't remember if it's a case of they're lucky or they have some kind of significance, particularly in and amongst pagan communities. I believe that is the case anyway. So King Raoul has found lots and lots of hagstones over the years, but he finds them so regularly, they're so common to him, that he's just decided just to make an entranceway out of it. You've got the antlers up there and all the rest of it with some pagan inscriptions. But yeah, that is sort of an entranceway into Wayward South, because for those that don't know, this woodland territory is actually two territories. And this is Southwood here. I believe, I'm trying to think, it's about 50 feet from the furthest boundary in here. So I think it's just the tail end of this boundary here, and that goes all the way down the woodland there and cuts the woodland in half. So I think probably, I don't know, around here up to that point and all down there, that's all Southwood, which is a Stomarian province. It's my own private property. And over here is Wayward South, which is land that's governed by King Raoul of Wayward. So there's two woodland territories, but you know, because we don't really have a hard border exactly, because Wayward is obviously a part of the Empire, we just kind of blend these territories together. But it is a nice little entranceway, and this little fork in the road is something that we are always very keen to promote. As you come down the causeway, if you go left, you sort of go to Southwood, and if you go right, you go to Wayward South. So two territories in one woodland, two nations in one woodland. It's just very symbolic, and it's you know, it really does highlight what we've been trying to do over the last few years, which is to really bring people together and have some real impactful change. Because I mean, what I might do is I might actually show some of the footage of what was here before I purchased the land from King Raoul, before we really got boots on the ground and started to turn this into Southwood proper. I might show some footage of what it looked like beforehand, not because it's, you know, I'm trying to think of the right word here, not because it's superior to what they were doing, but just because it's so different from what it used to look like. And it just goes to show what you can do when you really put the time, the resources into something, and you work together to actually accomplish something like this. Because what was here before was nothing like what is here now, and it's just a testament to the work, the cooperation that we have had with Wayward, and I have had with Raoul personally. So with all that in mind, I do have some more work to be doing, so I shall probably leave it there. I'm sure I must have covered this in a previous report, but this is the new the berry garden of sorts. So all in here, these are all raspberries. Eventually I think we're going to get some strawberries at the back here, but these are all raspberries, and so hopefully we're going to have some raspberries this year, if not next year. And because it's in the large cage, obviously, we'll hopefully mitigate the amount of raspberries we're going to lose to birds and other wildlife. So we'll see how that one goes. But with all that said, if you did enjoy this video, then please feel free to give it a like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll catch you in the next one.